When does a hustle stop being a dream and starts becoming a straight up nightmare? Hey, if you're new here, my name is Yasix and I am a chef and an entrepreneur among many things. And today I am closing the loop that I opened up in this video here. This is the story of how I quit a business that I poured everything into, not because I wanted to, but because my body, my cash flow, and Dave Ramsey were all screaming at me to stop. If you know, you know. For me, the dream of running a successful food business became a straight up nightmare when my husband offered to sell his precious gold chain just to keep us and the food business afloat. At that moment, I realized this wasn't a dream anymore. This was a straight up nightmare. And in this nightmare, that food tent was eating us and our legacy alive. Let me take you back to a few months ago. We had this food tent and we were selling empanadas at festivals, at markets, the whole thing. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. The menu design, the food prep, serving the people, building something as a family, being my own boss, possibly buy a food truck, cater bigger events, the whole food entrepreneur dream, right? Right? And all that hustle culture stuff online, grind till you die, you sleep when you're dead. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. I ate that shit up. Every post, every motivational reel, it fueled me. So when things got hard, I didn't question the business model, I questioned myself. Like, maybe I'm not working hard enough. Am I cut out for this? Or maybe my systems just suck. I mean, it was all the thoughts. But here's what none of those online gurus tell you about the hustle culture. Grinding doesn't break you all at once. It's slow, it's calculated. You don't even notice a pattern is forming until it's too late. Trust me, I know. For us, first, it was the money. Every event we did, we'd barely break even. Sometimes we'd lose money. And so you tell yourself, oh, it's just an investment. That's part of business. Next one will be better. But the next one wasn't any better. Then it was my body. I started getting like anxiety, and not just I'm a little stress anxiety because I have a lot going on. It was more like nausea, dry heaving behind the tent while customers were in line, and other things that I'd rather not mention. Yeah. My body was literally rejecting what I was putting myself through. But I kept going, right? Because isn't that what us entrepreneurs do? We hustle, we push through, we don't quit. And so then came the last event. We set everything up. We did the work. We put in the time. And at the end of the day, when we counted it all up, we had lost money. Again, money we didn't have. And I remember just sitting there thinking, like, what are we doing? We're literally going backwards. But I know now that I was making decisions from a place of panic, from being in survival mode 24/7. And when you're in survival mode long enough, you don't even notice your systems are flawed. But you know what? It wasn't even losing the money that broke me. It was when my husband looked at me and said he'd sell his gold chain to keep us going. Y'all, we've hit rock bottom. His gold chain and his Jesus piece, something that meant a lot to him, something that he invested in. I mean, y'all know the prices of gold right now. That gold chain is an asset. And my husband was willing to sacrifice it for a business that was draining us. Robert Kiyosaki would be pissed. Oh, no. If you know, you know. But at that moment, something in me clicked. Like, no, I am not going to let this thing take any more from us. Not his chain, not my health, and definitely not our peace. Something had to give, and it wasn't gonna be us. And if I'm being real right now, quitting felt like failure, because when your whole identity is wrapped up in being a business owner, an entrepreneur, walking away felt like admitting that I couldn't handle it. And if you know me, that is not the case. Here's what I've learned since then. Failure is data, and quitting something that is destroying you isn't failure, but staying would have been. The hardest part wasn't letting that business go and selling the equipment we didn't need. The hardest part was sitting there afterwards with myself. No festival to keep me occupied, just me having to figure out who I am when I am not in survival mode. But there is a plot twist. Dun dun dun. I didn't really totally quit the food game. I know, after everything that I just told you, right? Look, what I quit was the version of it that was killing me. The festivals, the overhead, the expensive fees, the stress of wondering if we'd get the return on our investment every event. That's no way to live. But is that the hustle culture? And so what I didn't quit was the part that I love the most, making good food, no matter what it is. So I pivoted to cottage foods. It's the same passion, just different tools. At least this is a business that I can do from home. No permits, no health inspections, and no expensive event fees. Just my kitchen and my next food venture, sourdough bread and pretzels and artisan treats. So let me introduce you to Batty Stephanie. And I should rename her to Bratty Stephanie because she's 2 months old and I have not been able to bake bread with her yet. She's a lot, I'm a lot, and I just haven't figured out, where I'm going wrong. I'm working on it. I even have a little notebook here that I've been keeping notes since her inception. I mean, I'm talking days. Like I said, it's been almost 2 months and she's ready. She smells good. She's just not growing enough. So that means that she's just not strong enough yet. So I have to wait. But you know what? I'm totally okay with waiting because this time I want to do it right. No panic, no survival mode, no hurry up and make your ROI back, just patience and an upgraded system. Drop a me in the comments if you've had to pivot anything in your life to save your peace. So when does the hustle stop being a dream and starts becoming a straight up nightmare? It's when you're so locked in to one version of that dream that you can't see any other way. It's when rest feels like you're being lazy and you can't even sleep without your mind thinking, what are we doing? We should be doing something. It's when your body is screaming at you to stop, but you keep going because you have tenacity, right? And when does that hustle become a nightmare? It's when someone you love is willing to sacrifice a piece of themselves for something that's not working. And so because failure is data and quitting the whole food business completely wasn't the answer. So we just decided to pivot, same dream, just different tools. Listen, and sometimes life is just like this sourdough starter because sometimes she can be a brat and you just have to deal with it. If this story sounds familiar, let me know in the comments. Please tell me I'm not alone in my battles with sourdough bread. And if Batty Stephanie ever decides to cooperate, y'all will be the first to know. So don't forget to check out the video where I introduce Batty Stephanie. I'll talk to y'all later.